Hello and welcome to Lindsay Akashic channel. I am your host, Lindsay, and today we are opening the Akashic Records on Gaia. So normally when I do a land reading, I choose a particular location and open the Akashic Records on that location and ask questions about it. And so in this case, I put out a poll and asked what others would like me to open the Akashic Records on as far as land readings go. And I asked, choose a place and let me know what your questions are. And so one of the really fun choices that I got was Gaia. It's doing Gaia. So I opened the Akashic Records on Gaia, and the question that was posed was, how does Gaia shift in consciousness as the seasons transition? And that was posed from my friend Jason, who always has incredible questions. So thank you so much for contributing that. And so I opened the Akashic Records on Gaia just prior to hitting record. So I'm in the Akashic Records of Gaia. And as I was opening the records, the opening message and visual was already answering the question, but I will ask it directly to see what comes through. But what I will share is that the opening visual, they were showing Gaia as a woman waking up and getting out of bed and like starting her morning and allowing this transition. So it's this feeling of sleeping and waking up, but it was happening in a way that was on her terms, and it was a slow transition. And I was being shown that the way that we live in our seasons and our cycles is that we choose a date, this very specific date that is a season, a transition from one season to another. And so we have these timelines in place. But what the records are trying to say is that the transitions from season to season are actually very slow. So Gaia's consciousness, the shift in consciousness from season to season, that transition is very slow. And so just because we have these dates in place and we have our concept of time, it doesn't mean that that's how Gaia operates. And so in this opening visual, I felt an invitation for us to allow ourselves to not pay attention to the dates and certain things that are categorized as, spring, this happens at spring at this point, this happens at summer at this point, etc. But in those transition seasons, allowing them to take their time. They're saying have their fluctuation. They're saying initiation. This kind of like, they're saying teetering. And so because there's those changes, the transition changes that kind of go up and down, they're saying that it's important to transition in this slow, gentle way, as if you're like waking up in the morning and starting your day, assuming that you can potentially wake up in the morning slowly and start your day, in a very slow, kind of on your own pace way. But they're showing Gaia as this woman waking up out of bed, and they're showing like, each season, the waking up, the starting the day or being in the season, and then the going down to sleep. So it's got this cool like loop to it, but they're emphasizing that it's a slow transition. So that was the whole opening message, opening visual. And I'm going to ask one more time directly. So what shifts in consciousness does Gaia experience during seasonal transitions? They're saying slow down, and also they're saying speed up or speedway. They're saying speedway. But they're saying it depends on her. They're saying it depends on her that year, or during that time, right? So Gaia, planet Earth, the ecosystem, depending on how she's feeling, right? The health of the planet. She's going to transition from one season to another differently depending on how she's feeling. The same as if they're showing this woman waking up out of bed. Some days she's going to be healthy and excited. They're saying exuberant, and it's going to be speedway, like ready to rock into this next season. And then other times they're saying sick or tired, recovering, healing. There's going to be a slower transition. That's so interesting. So depending on, they're saying like optimal health. They're inviting us to experiment with that idea. As the seasons change, they're saying like sync up with Gaia, with the earth, with your external environment. Are things moving? Oh, very cool. So they're like, do you see a lot of like life and activity in the nature, the animals, movement, the sunshine, the sprouts, flowers blooming. So they're kind of like, they're saying that we are like meant to be in sync with all of that. So if it's a slow, quieter day, we're going to feel inclined to be slower and quieter. So they're really kind of like the concept of time and like the seasons and the dates. They're putting it on like a piece of paper and wrinkling it into a ball and like throwing it in the trash. And they're saying conceptual. They're saying the reality is your environment, your immediate environment. How is it moving? What's going on with that right in front of you? So that's really cool. I hope that was informative. I really enjoyed that. If you have any other questions, I meant to do this little short one on Gaia. But if you have any other questions or any other topics that you'd like to open the records on, let me know the topic and also add your questions as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.